I've always had a path in schooling that I've been following since I was 6, and it's pretty much been the same for about 14 years. It's to go to school, study hard, pass, and repeat. So during my last semester in undergrad, after a tough fall semester, I was excited to graduate and finally get to start life as a real adult. Except no one prepares you for the turmoil that ensues after graduating, especially if it's during COVID. For starters, since my communications degree was very broad and not really focused on any particular topic, I absolutely had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And for months, I wanted to teach abroad, but after graduating, I really didn't know if that was the right career move for me, especially considering leaving to teach English and then coming back to kind of justify myself as a communication specialist didn't really seem, let's just say that didn't really seem that plausible. And also I didn't know if I wanted to do it anymore. I worked all year on maintaining friendships and also taking care of my pets who I love dearly, and I knew that moving abroad meant losing all of that. So I made list after list of the pros and cons of teaching as a digital nomad, teaching English abroad, and working just a corporate office job, and I settled on one: to work a corporate office job, and I hated it. For those of you that can thrive in a corporate office job, I applaud you. I couldn't adapt to the restraint of working at a desk all week, going to the same weekly meetings that seemed to kind of go nowhere. I realized that this was not the job for me. After that happened in late December, in January, I decided that I had to go back to the drawing board, and I knew that my time and my money was running out, and I needed to think fast because my job that I had was on campus, meaning that after I graduated in December 2019, that job went with it. There were really about 3 things that I really wanted out of a job: to be in a creative, people-oriented job, opportunity to travel, and 3, a chance to clear off my debt. Especially the third one. With the current state of the economy, rent was rising fast, and I knew that any job starting that I could get in the US would probably leave me with a little bit money in comparison to the money that I would make teaching abroad or as a digital nomad. So I revisited my options again. I think a lot of people would have dealt with the first option. Yes, it is a corporate job, and yes, you do hate it, but at least you're making the money that you need to make to live in the US. But I'm not most people, and teaching abroad definitely won by a landslide, because I could still travel and work a creative, people-oriented job that I wanted to do in the first place. And in the last week of January, I landed a job in South Korea that was a teaching position, and I was happy to start that job, except as you guessed it, things don't work out for me. Here we go again. I had 3 months until I started in March. My money was running out. I was literally maxing out every single credit card. And then on top of that, I had to break contract and come home after 4 months because of COVID and me just worrying about not being able to see my family if something went wrong. Every single profit that I did make, I basically paid them back. So yeah, there goes that money. It's not like I wanted it anyways, you know, it's whatever. Which brings me kind of to fast forward to now. Because similarly in the beginning of 2020, where I struggled with being alone and not knowing what to do, I'm in this exact same position again, like the same time as last year. Anyways, during this time, even now, I struggle a lot with not only the alone time, but what to do while waiting to be employed. It's the, I don't know, confusing and stressful part of someone's life is to go through unemployment and not having a job and not knowing how your next meal is going to get paid. Last time I struggled a lot with alone time and feeling a lot of loss for the motivations in my life. I had a lot of hobbies that I started this time last year that I completely lost all motivations for. In fact, I canceled my blog during this time, a blog that I literally worked 2 years in building. I worked so hard in building it during college, and I just didn't want to write anymore. And I think I actually only wrote 1 blog post during this time. I also stopped blogging, I stopped painting, I stopped exploring the city, I stopped going outside, and I was frustrated, and I felt like I had no way out. At the time, I was going to therapy to help me manage my anxiety and what to do in that kind of like really aloof, out of place time that is that period of unemployment. And it actually helped a lot. And honestly, now thinking back on it, yeah, I definitely used my credit card to pay for that too. So anyways, it's been over a year since then, and I can't necessarily say that the pandemic hasn't contributed to where I am right now. But what I will say is that I'm handling it just a tad bit better than I did last time, which is why I wanted to make this. I did end up teaching in Korea for a spell, and I moved back home before moving again to Boston because I don't like Florida. Many of you soon-to-be and recent graduates may be feeling or have felt what I'm talking about right now. And I wanted to make this video to tell you guys that I hear you and I've been there and I'm still going through that. And you're not alone. I wish I could sit here and tell you that there is a quicker way of getting out of this hump, but no, there's not. The truth is it'll just take some time to adjust. And at the moment of me posting this, I'm actually unemployed. Again, just like I was the same time last year, and I'm really struggling with it. And all I can do every day is just get up and do the same routine of applying to jobs and stuff. But I started this YouTube channel, and I also have a side job teaching online. So I'm kind of better than I was last time. I'm in a better situation, let's just say that. And the only thing keeping me through are some random hobbies that I've picked up along the way. If you stick around, you can watch my next video where I talk about some tips and some things that I've done that helps me cope during COVID. I would continue it in this video, but one, this video is already gonna take way too long for me to edit, and two, I actually want you to come back. So come back. Anyways, give this video a like if you are going through this too, and consider subscribing. Actually, don't consider it, just do it. Subscribe to my channel because we're all going through it during COVID and I wanna go through it with you. Anyways, for now, I'm going to continue applying for a ton of jobs and cross my fingers that things are gonna work out because I refuse to wallow in this any longer than I already have. And you should too.